I heard the Labubus are sold out everywhere, so let me show y'all how to make them out of paper using your Cricut. And they cute too. Look at them. Look at them. So we're going to start off first by getting our images that we're going to use. I found this little group set of Labubu images. They're like some of the bodies, some of the heads on Etsy. All of that will be linked in the description. So we're going to upload all of our images, right? On the left side, you just go to upload. We're going to choose the PNG, not the SVG files. We're choosing the PNG, which are just the image. The SVG files are the layered cut files. We're just doing print and cut, right? Now we're going to bring them in. We don't have to change anything. They're already fixed. So just keep going to the next step. We don't have to edit anything here. Once you get here, make sure you choose the flat graphic. And then here you could but change the name of what the file is. And then you're going to continue and do the same for all of the images that you want to use. I have 4 of the heads and 1 of the larger size. So I did the heads at 3.5 inches in height. And then with the larger one, I just did one on the light green one. I did that as 5.5 inches. So as you can see at the beginning, the bag was a little big. So that's how come I made them so large. Well, made that big one so large, because that's going to be on top of the bow separately by itself, right? Now you're going to save your project. At the top right, you have the option to save. You're going to name it whatever you need to name it. And I always make sure I save so that whatever sizing I did, it's there and saved and I don't forget. Because sometimes if you don't save, you tend to cut and you need to redo it. If you closed it and go back, sometimes you forget. I don't know about y'all, but I do. I'm very forgetful. So now I'm changing the size of the prints to 8.5 by 11 because that's the size paper I have. But Cricut put this one little head on the bottom. So I'm going to click those 3 little dots on the top left of the image right there. And then you're going to choose the option to move to another mat, right? Choose that first mat that we have there because we're trying to save paper. So I'm just going to maneuver these around and fit both of them together. That way I only have 1 sheet of paper and I'm not printing that second sheet with just 1 head on it, right? So you can do that with any project you have. You can move them around if you find a better way. So now we're going to send to print. You're going to click on that use system dialog. When you select that and then hit print, that'll open up your printing options for you. And sometimes when you have issue with printing, it's because of your settings. I'm using the Epson EcoTank 16600. I'm going to send it to the rear feeder. Now with the selection of the paper type, I'm using photo glossy paper. And the setting that I use for this is the poster board setting. So now it's going to print out. This is me feeding it into the rear printer of the Epson EcoTank 16600. I did speed up the video because y'all don't want to see no paper printed out for long, right? So this is our printout, and you see the little 4 black L-shaped marks on the end. Those are your registration lines. Now we're going to get our holographic laminate sheet. And what you're going to do with these, you're going to lay it over your design so that when we place it on the mat, the Cricut is going to cut it out. But here's the thing. I'm trying to avoid the laminate sheet actually touching those registration marks on the corner. The reason for that is sometimes if anything is blocking the registration marks or make it little too shiny or reflective, it's not going to read so that your machine knows where to cut, right? So I'm laying it right within those lines, and I'm going to use the scissors to create a little cut mark of exactly where I'm going to need to cut it. So right here at the top, I'm putting like a little scratch right inside of where the line would be. Then I'm taking the scissors and just cutting straight down. So basically, I'm just making the exact rectangle shape that's going to fit right over our design, but not over the registration marks. And now that I cut that side, you see that it's perfectly within the marks. Now I'm going to repeat the same process for the bottom. And I want to tell you guys that right now what you're looking at is my second attempt of laying this down. So I want to give you a fair warning. Once you do this process, you have to be real careful when it's time to actually lay the laminate sheet, because once it goes on, you can't pull it off to reapply it. So I'm going to peel off just a little bit at the top. And if you have like a scraper tool to kind of slide across just to make sure it's smooth when it goes, that's even better. I just used my hands. So I'm going to lay the laminate sheet from the top very carefully. Very carefully. Then just slide little by little and then bring my hand to smooth it out. It's better if you have something to smooth it out there, just to make sure there's no bubbles and it went directly on top. Now, a little piece of it did go over right here on the registration mark, but when I fed it into the Cricut, it's still red. So there's a possibility that you don't even have to go through that step, but I'd rather be careful. Y'all know when they say it's better to be safe than sorry, better to be safe than sorry, and don't put it over the registration marks. So you're going to line up your paper on your mat in the top left side of your mat, right within the lines where it shows you. Then you're going to feed it into your Cricut. We already set the printer settings, so the light is blinking to load. You load your mat, press the paper. The machine just kind of like measures the mat to make sure you have the correct mat that you're using. Then the play button is going to blink. We're going to press that. Your Cricut machine are going to read those registration lines that I told you about that we didn't want to obstruct. Right here, you see the light? It's scanning those lines. So now after it scans the lines, that's basically telling the machine where exactly it needs to cut out your design. Now, a quick warning, let's say you go through this whole process, you cut, and it turns out that your machine cuts your images and it's not perfect, like it's a little off, maybe you got some of the white part of the paper on there, that just means your machine probably needs to be calibrated. I do have a video on that, so you could check it out. I'll also link it in the description. So now this is how they came out. Look at how cute it is with that holographic laminate sheet. Also too, it makes it a little bit more durable. So of course, if you want, you can make these double-sided. Just print another one, mirror it, glue it together, and then it'll be perfect. This, I did just one-sided because I just did it for the day because I was going out. So now we have our Crop-A-Dile. I'm over here yapping y'all ears off, right? So with the Crop-A-Dile, what you want to do is punch a hole with they have two edges. It's a small one and a big one. You're going to punch to the size that matches the eyelet that you have. Now these, I believe they came with the Crop-A-Dile that I have. You're going to place it inside. See right there? Already looking good. Then you're going to take the Crop-A-Dile and the pointed side is where you'll lay the hole and then just squeeze, use two hands. And here's the thing that I realized after a while. You see the little piece that's poking? I switched over to the smaller side. Big mistake. Keep it on that slimmer, pointier side. I believe it's C and number 3. That'll punch the holes better. Now, I also lined it up backwards. Remember I said with the hole, you're going to line it. The pointed part goes through the hole. I didn't do that here, and look how it got stuck. So fair warning. Slip it on properly, and you won't have none of these problems here. I did leave this in the video just for you guys to see. Because, you know, sometimes you need to see mistakes to make sure you don't make the mistakes. So I'm going to skip over me struggling here, and then we're going to go on to the next step. And that's how it turned out. It actually is really cute. And it makes it better than just having a hole that's punched there. And sometimes when you punch a hole in some items, it can tend to rip when you hook things through it. So it's good to have the eyelet to make it more secure and to make it look more professional. You know what I'm saying? Now, all of our little, what's these little guys' name? How I forget their names? Labubu. Child, this is how you know I'm getting old. So we got all of our Labubus done. I'm just going to squeeze and punch the eyelets properly on each and every one. And then what I did basically, ain't they cute? So what I did was use those keychain hooks, and we're going to make them into like our paper charms. Now this string right here, I found this on Amazon. About a few years ago, I wanted to make my own purse, which I never did. So I had these in the drawer, and I'm going to link them also in the description for you guys. And this really large plastic straw looking bag, I think I bought it about 3 or so years ago at Target. So now the purse strap, it's too long to put in the front. So I hooked both ends on one side, doubled it up. And then what I did was I poked it through the top of the like basket weaving part of the bag. I pulled it in the back and it held a little good. It felt durable, but I'll show y'all how I secured it. So now we're going to take the keychain rings and just thread them through the eyelet hole that we have. And there you go. Cute paper purse charms. Now this bow here, my sister left it over here. It was her hair bow and I saw it and I thought, you know what? This will be kind of perfect. Makes it nice and cute and, you know, jazz up my bag and make my charms look good. So the large one, I just clipped right onto the hook in the front of the bow. And then the little ones, I just individually placed them, spaced them out on the, what is this called? The bag chain. Y'all forgive me. I told y'all I'm getting old. I don't even remember what I need to say. So I lined those 4 ups. And so what I did, I got another keychain ring. I hooked it through the 2 chains and then onto the bag itself. And that way it's secure and it's not going anywhere. Look at how cute that is. Y'all better make y'all bag charms. I had to run back the video with me actually using this bag because yes, I did go out with my paper charms on my bag and it looked cute. If y'all have any questions, drop them in the comment section. I got y'all and make sure y'all subscribe.